Hey, welcome. My name is Hannah from Reality Awareness. If you don't know me already, hi, lovely to have you here. So today I'm talking about Lightfilled Yoga and talking about the chakras because a lot of people are asking me about the chakras and I teach them quite differently. So here I am presenting to you about the chakras, right? So with Lightfilled Yoga, obviously the chakras are a big part of that, yeah? So I wanted to explain what are chakras because if you're new here, you might not even know what chakras are. However, I am trusting that if you are here, you do have an idea about some sort of chakras. You might have heard of them before. So chakras are basically spinning vortexes of energy, okay? And you can see the different colors in that picture and they are representative of the rainbow, right? So they're the same colors as the rainbow and they reside within us and everybody has these, okay? With these, this is another kind of diagram of the chakras. Now with this, it's kind of like, don't be limited, by like they got to look like this, right? If they look or feel different to you, you need to trust that over whatever you see on the internet or anywhere else because your chakras and your body are your own and it's better for you to tune into what's right for you. However, this just gives you an idea of the different chakras, right? Now, chakras are the energetic, they're like spinning vortexes of energy, like I said, but they are they're a spiritual organ. They connect into your nervous system. They are kind of like a portal between, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind and your spirit body and your physical body, right? So it's like the two that connects the spirit world and the material world, yeah, which is your physical body. So when we're talking about, the energy and the spirit world, like everything is made up of energy. So even our physical bodies that, have everything that seems solid, right? So like this phone or like these deck of cards here, like everything that seems solid, even our physical body is made up of tiny atoms. Okay, so you might have from like science class back in school, I don't know, who knows, I didn't really remember that, but like everything is made up of atoms. When we look at a scientific basis of what our universe is made up of, it is atoms right down at its core, and in those atoms is vibrating energy, yeah? It's like atoms vibrating at different densities. Now, even though it seems and appears solid, it actually is vibrating just at a different density, right? So everything is energy, and with, like this, if you haven't seen What the Bleep Do We Know, the movie, I highly recommend you go and watch it. These, like when we are thinking about something, whether we are physically doing it or not, the same neuropathways fire in our brain. Yeah? So it's a pretty powerful kind of recollection to, being thinking about something and the same neuropathways fire. Now, this is where the energy and the consciousness and your, power in yourself and your mind and your energy becomes your power, right? So when we look at, the atoms and the structures and the same neuropathways firing, like the entire universe is made up of these atoms, yeah? Like there's no separation between the depths. Like even if you go straight through the middle of the earth and come out on the other side, everything is just energy at its core, right? Now, if you can even open your mind just a tiny bit to tap into that kind of collective power, you've got an ultimate key there, right? And I talk about this a lot in Clearing Energy Blueprint. I go through this in depth in Trust Intuition about how to kind of move through energy and how to travel there and all that sort of thing. But I just wanted to, explain here that everything is energy. And if you even consciously just tiny bit understand that, please comment below and let me know because you've just got an absolute key, right? When you understand the depth, right, of that power and the power of our consciousness, of our awareness, of our thoughts and our feelings. I love Dr. Emoto's work for this very reason because it shows us a very visual and physical, what's the word? Manifestation, or I guess it shows us the power of our consciousness and our energy, right? So if you haven't heard of Dr. Emoto's work, I highly recommend checking out his work. You can go to his website, or he's got several books. That's just one of them, The Healing Power of Water. And in there's a famous study, of like these two jars of rice, yeah, rice and water. And I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was every 30, like for 30 days, he got a group of school children. Every time they come into their classroom, every morning, they would say, I love you in one jar, and they'd say, I hate you in another jar. And this is 30 kids every day for 30 days or something like that. And after 30 days, you can see the difference with those images there. The I love you started fermenting nicely, and the I hate you is obviously a rotting pile of stuff, right? So the power of our consciousness, awareness, and thoughts are very, very tangible, yeah, when we look at this sort of thing. So here's just a couple more examples. Like I said, his book and his website have got heaps of information. If you haven't explored Dr. Emoto's work, please go and check it out. You can see the other part that he did with this study of the healing water is that, he's a famous scientist. He's no longer with us now, bless you, Emoto. But he did lots of research, and it was like placing a piece of paper saying I love you or thank you or I hate you on separate pieces of paper on samples of water, freezing them for however long they froze them, and then pulling them out and measuring them, like looking at them under a microscope or their scientific tools that they use. And these are what came up with just having written word of love or thank you or I hate you, right? And this shows you the power of written word, the power of our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, and our energy, and what it does to our surroundings, right? So when we look at the power of our conscious mind and our what we're thinking is how we're feeling, and then we're affecting vibrationally around us, because everything is energy, everything is vibrating at those atoms. And the more conscious and aware we become with our thoughts, feelings, and our personal power, which is our energy field, then this is the sort of effect we can have on not only our surroundings but our entire reality and the entire world, right? So when I talk about the chakras in Lightfilled Yoga and in all of my work, it's kind of like chakras is all I do. I'm talking about the specific consciousness. So each chakra has a specific consciousness connected to it. And, this awareness of thoughts and the feelings is what comes through Lightfilled Yoga, through all my work. If you follow me on my live streams on Facebook or any of my teachings and trainings, this is pretty much where this is all stemming from. So, as I teach with the 8 chakras. So I include the ear chakras, right? And it's kind of like the missing key in society today, I feel so strongly about, because it's a spiritual organ that is missing. It's our clairaudience, right? We need to be open in our ears to be able to be open in our heart, to be open in our base. It's a very feminine chakra. It's about listening. Yeah, if you think of your ears and listening, you have to be still. You have to keep your mouth shut. And you got, the age-old saying, 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason. Listen more, speak less, right? And it is about having the power of, the awareness to open your ears and listen more, listen behind the words of what people are saying, feel into the energy, plus being open to receiving from higher realms, from listening to your inner worlds, and, knowing where those, thoughts or feelings or what you're hearing is coming from, right? Whether it's ego or intuitive guidance or shadow or inner child or somebody else, or, it's like really opening and listening. And it's not just about, listening, but in a sense of receiving. Because if we're closed in our ears, like the ears, the heart, and the base chakra are very interconnected, and the ears allow us to receive spiritual wisdom, allow us to hear. That comes down into the heart to open to receive, and the base chakra to open to receive. So if you're having troubles with reproductive system, or trying to have a baby or create something new in your life and it's not working, check in if you're actually listening to your divine guidance, checking in if you're listening to your intuition, checking in, listening if you're actually on the right path, because sometimes we're not making progress because we're not on the right friggin' path, right? So I'll talk about the ears more coming up. But these 8 chakras, because with the kind of the old consciousness of what's been around for eons, right, is that, we're starting from the base chakra coming up. You would know that. And the ear chakras are just not there. So there's only 7 chakras in the old consciousness, right? And it's not that there's a right or wrong way. It's not like, oh, that's wrong and this is right. It's not about that. This is just a new energy energy coming in. We're including the ear chakras, so yes, it makes it 8 chakras. But not only that, we're coming down instead of base chakra up, right? So you might know it as like the root chakra at the base. I call it base chakra, roots, the same thing. So it would be number 1 is the base chakra or the root chakra, and then coming up, whereas I start at the crown and come down. So the crown chakra is number 1, and then we come down, right? So I don't even kind of have numbers for them, don't really reference them that much, but definitely, you know, with their names. And when we're coming down, the kind of concept with that is that, you know, for eons, we have all been reaching up to spirit. Therefore, we have all been kind of out of our body, not grounded, not here. There's a lot of people running around with, you know, like in their heads, yeah, very ego, very mind dominated, you know, the heart's missing, you know, it's very cut off at the throat. So it's kind of like speaking without feeling into, you know, how that affects other people, how it affects you, how it affects anything. Is a completely different, you know, conscious awareness when we can come from the top down. Why? Because when we're starting from the base up, right, it's like, you know, if you think of base chakra as, you know, money, trust, security, feeling safe, or in fear, it's like, if you think of current society, it's very mind orientated, so very ego, very fear-based driven, right? Mind, ego is fear, right? Base chakra, if you don't trust, you're in complete fear, right? And you're trying to control everything because, you know, like, if they're out of control, then it's gonna, like, you know what the government systems, all that stuff is about, right? So with the, you know, coming down from the top in the way that I teach, it's like, you know, the crown chakra opens to new wisdom and allows that spiritual support, spiritual wisdom into the body, right? So when we start at the crown down, we already have that connectedness to spirit, that support, that, you know, openness, and we bring that spiritual wisdom down through all the chakras and the consciousness that relates to all those with a new mindset, rather than coming from a fear-based driven, you know, materialistic world base chakra consciousness, right? We can come down from the top where we're connected, where we're open, where everyone is connected, yeah, and allow that to be the main filter coming through into our body. Plus, we're getting grounded in our body rather than, you know, reaching up to spirit up there, because as you should know by now, nothing is out there. Everything is in here, and we need to be grounded in our body to fully embody our soul, to fully embody being physically present on this earth as well. And, you know, having that light field awareness, bringing that new consciousness down through into our body, allows us to have that transformed thinking, you know, be more present and conscious with other people, plus with ourselves, because we have all these tools. So I'll go through the chakras because, again, I teach them a little bit different. So with Lightfilled Yoga, it's, you know, you could call it chakra yoga if you wanted to understand it, but basically Lightfilled Yoga, there's a specific, you know, chakra sequence for each. You know, there's a crown chakra class, and then there's a whole crown chakra awareness, you know, to go with that. Then there's third eye, ears, so there's one for each of the chakras. There's, you could call it healing yoga. It's the metaphysical understanding for healing through physical asana. So asana is another word for pose. So you can see I'm doing a yoga pose there. And it's like, you know, having the metaphysical understanding of what's going on in that physical, you know, pose brings another depth, brings, you know, your awareness to that particular chakra or that particular emotional issue that's going on, and allows you to heal that in that moment rather than keeping that separation, right? It's just a different method of healing. Again, it's not that other yogas are wrong and this is right. This is just another form that's coming in, and it is a very, I guess, when you look at the difference, you know, there's a definite feminine basis to it, because there is a lot of listening. There's a lot of, I guess, spiritual understanding in bringing that into each chakra, into each class. And allowing that healing, you know, to take place. And to do that, we have to have our ears open to be able to listen, yeah? So, and it is bringing balance into current society. I truly believe that Lightfilled Yoga is something that is here to, you know, kind of balance out, you know, in allowing the ears to open and allowing to have that feminine and, you know, with that matriarchal consciousness. It's not about the matriarchal rising, the feminine rising and taking over. It's like, no, it's like the masculine, the patriarchal is there. It's like the matriarchal is rising to meet that and balance that. Now, in recent kind of times, that it's really quite present, and there's a lot of healing going on with the masculine right now as the feminine's holding that space, yeah? You might have felt this yourself. But with the Lightfilled Yoga, we are bringing that balance to current society, yeah? It definitely increases your intuition because we're opening our spiritual organs and connecting our spiritual organs to our physical body. So like I said, there's not that separation or that disconnect anymore. It's really healing, you know, the nervous system and how that connects to your physical body in all those different layers. And it definitely aligns with your life purpose, because when we start at the top and we're open to that spiritual wisdom and that filters down through our body, it reaches our base chakra, and our base chakra is our purpose. When we're fully grounded and present in our body, we hear our intuition so clearly, there is no questioning. We are on purpose, on path. We have the confidence, we have all the tools, we are grounded, and you know, as we come down, we give birth through our base chakra. That's where we have babies. You know, and it's like we're giving birth to our life purpose. We're fully present, we're here, we're turning up, and everyone has this unique role to play on this earth, right? So with consciousness itself, if you don't know what consciousness is kind of another word for awareness. It's an understanding of a situation or an understanding of something, anything. And you might feel overwhelmed learning, you know, about certain things at times, and that awareness, that overwhelm or that confusion is when you're just about to break through to something else. Because remember, these brain neural pathways, when you're learning something new, what doesn't matter what it is, you know, if you can imagine or remember when you were learning to drive a car, how overwhelming it was with all these things you had to do at the same time. And now you probably drive a car and you don't even remember how you got from A to B, right? So it's like, it's the same thing, yeah. Whenever you're learning anything new, it's just a rewire of the brain. So having that understanding as well to be able to support yourself when you are learning something new, so that you know that overwhelming confusion, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. It's like you're just about to break through that barrier and understand. And when you do that, it shifts entire realities. Like your entire reality shifts and changes, yeah? It can completely eradicate and change and shift entire paradigms, right? And that's where, you know, this power in the consciousness and coming down with this, you know, spiritual awareness of understanding, of compassion, you know, rather than coming from fear-based, is really, really powerful. And it's like has the power to change the entire planet, right? And, you know, having this conscious awareness, you know, it's the wake-up calls, it's the light bulb moments when you have those shifts, yeah? You're like, oh my God, how did I not see that before? Or how did I, wow, that's, of course, right? And all in all, it's, you know, consciousness itself and being here on this planet is just becoming more aware of yourself, of, you know, the world becoming more of its, more conscious of itself and growing and expanding, and, you know, things are moving at a rapid pace and changing and shifting, yeah? So it's a very exciting time to be alive on this planet. So I am Hannah Andrews, the modern day chakra queen. You can work with me in many different ways. You can come find me on Facebook. Check out the links below, and make sure you check out my next YouTube video that will go through each individual chakra. So you can understand the different consciousness and awareness and what each chakra actually, you know, has to do within your life. So remember to keep it really real. Lots of love. Namaste.